Hello everyone and welcome back to another Marvel Champions video. Today I picked up the Quicksilver deck for Marvel Champions. I'm going to go ahead and get this open. I'm going to take a look at some of the cards, and then I'm going to play a test game against Rhino. I'll report back after the game and let you know how it went. But I always kind of test it against Rhino first. Let me go ahead and get this open here. Here's our deck. Just grab these scissors and get the plastic off of this. Alright, so there we have Quicksilver, Petro Maximoff, I believe, right? Or, no, sorry. Petro Maximoff is on that side. There we go. So, Petro Maximoff, and then Quicksilver. He looks like a very kind of fun character to play. He only has one thwart, one attack, one defense. But after you use one of his abilities, you can basically untap him and do it again. And then there is Petro, and his ability is draw or discard two cards from your hand and draw two cards, or draw three cards if Wanda Maximoff is in play. So there is Quicksilver. But then we do have, like with the Ant-Man deck and the Wasp deck, we do have a Scarlet Witch card in here as well, which is also counts as Wanda Maximoff for that. So there is Scarlet Witch. Doesn't really want to focus, but an allied version of her. So one thwart, one attack, 3 health. And when you use one of Scarlet Witch's basic powers, discard the top card of the encounter deck for each boost icon discarded this way. Scarlet Witch gets +1 to that power for this use. That's pretty cool, and it kind of goes in line with what Scarlet Witch is going to do when her deck actually is released. This one was an event I talked a little bit about when it got revealed, but it is Always Be Running. And Always Be Running, it's a one-cost event. Hero action, ready Quicksilver. So you can basically attack with Quicksilver, use his ability to untap him or ready him, attack again, play this, attack with him, or thwart with him again. So he seems like he doesn't hit very hard, but he hits very, very like many times. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of that in the deck. So a lot of cool cards. Looks like this is again a protection deck, so a green deck. And I believe I think it's Avalanche. Yeah, Avalanche is the so there is Avalanche's side scheme, which is Insight 1 when revealed, place one threat on the main scheme. So his plot has that. There is Avalanche himself. Let's see what he does here. Brotherhood of Mutants, Insight 2. When he's revealed, place 2 threats on the main scheme, and each player must choose to either take 2 indirect damage or exhaust their identity. And it's 1 scheme, 2 attack, with 4 health. Let's see if we can get the camera to actually pick up on it. I think I might have to hold it a little bit better like that. Anyway, it doesn't seem to want to be focusing on there, but there's that. There's a few of his cards, and then we have the looks like aggression, justice, and leadership cards and basic cards that can go into any deck. So we won't be using those, but I'm going to go ahead and get these sleeved up. I'm going to test the game against Rhino. I'm going to turn the camera off, flip it around. When I get back, I'll let you guys know how the game went. Really looking forward to Quicksilver. He seems like it'll be a lot of fun just with being able to constantly use him and ready him, that kind of stuff. So we'll be right back with the review of the deck, and I'm going to let you know how the game against Rhino went. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, and I am back after playing my first game with Quicksilver. I ended up winning, but it was very close. I was my character was near being defeated multiple times in the game. The game took quite a while because at first, Quicksilver doesn't have a whole lot of thwart or attack. He's got one of each to start. But so you really want to look for cards that will increase his attack, his thwart, or his defense. And then there's cards like Adrenaline Rush, which is you pay 1 to put it on your character. You discard it, that character gets +1 attack until the end of the phase, or the end of the round. So that's really strong with Quicksilver because you could basically give him an additional attack, or give him +1 attack for 2, and use his ability to exhaust him, attack again, and then essentially deal 4 damage. So that was good. I did come up with, I did draw up a lot of villain cards that like allowed Rhino to heal, so heal 4. I had my Nemesis coming into play at one point, and that kind of slowed me down. But really great cards in the deck here. I got this card out very early, but it's really amazing when you're in Alter Ego mode, and I ended up going into Alter Ego mode quite a bit just to recover because Quicksilver doesn't have a lot of health. He only has 9 to start. You can potentially increase that later, but so this is Serval Industries. Basically, it's as an alter ego action. You can exhaust it to how is it worded? Exhaust this card to shuffle 2 Quicksilver cards from your discard pile into your deck. So I was always shuffling cards like always be running back in to allow me to ready Quicksilver. So that was a card I was always going to go after. And then also cards like maximize velocity and double time I was shuffling back in as well. So double time is as a hero action, choose 2 of the following. You may choose the same action twice or option twice. Deal 2 damage to an enemy or remove 2 threat from a scheme. So one play I was able to do this for 4 damage. Another time I was able to remove 4 threat with this. The other really good one to use it on is maximize velocity, which is a superpower. It's max 1 per phase. Hero action, you get +2 thwart, 2 attack, and 2 defense until the end of the round. So that's a really good way to increase your defense, get some more thwart in, get some more attack in, and then this coupled really well with the new, I forget the name escapes me right now, but the new green defense card, which is when you defend, you get +3 for the defense, +3 to your defense, but then if the enemy takes no, or if you take no damage from the attack, the enemy gets stunned. I'm probably going to throw that into my Captain America stun lock deck at some point, but I was able to stun the enemy quite a few times with that, so I was able to kind of use the next round for Quicksilver to kind of recover a little bit, or not recover, but basically like instead of attacking, I was getting rid of threat on the scheme because the plot got really close to completing at one point. I think I had at the end of the game, I had 1 acceleration token on the plot, so every time I was placing threat, I was placing 2 threat. So, beginning of the round, I was placing 2. I went through Quicksilver's deck, I think like once, so I got an encounter card for that. But also played, got Scarlet Witch out in one game. I wasn't able to get the combo card off, which is you need both of them to use it. But Scarlet Witch is either going to be very hit or very miss depending on what card you draw off the encounter deck. Because like I had a couple times where the cards she drew had no boost icons, so her attack or thwart gets increased by the number of boost icons. So she has a 1 thwart, 1 attack with a blank, basically essentially a blank encounter card with no boost. It's 1 damage or 1 threat removed. There was one time where I drew 2 boost icons, so I was able to remove 3 threat. That was huge because the plot was really, the scheme was getting close to going off. So I had that. There's one time where I had some extra damage on her from getting a 2 to do some extra attack. Um, the reason I think it went kind of slowly at first was until you can kind of build up Quicksilver's abilities, like his thwart and his attack, he's only going to be hitting for, at max per turn, without any other events, 2 each. So 2 threat removed or 2 damage done, because you can basically attack with him, exhaust him, do a damage, reset him with his ability, and do another damage. But that's why cards like running, always be running, come into play. Really good card because it only costs 1 and allows you to ready your character. That's pretty big in this game. So that was that. I ended up having, like I said, the Nemesis came out. I had a card that allowed Rhino to heal. At one point, I think I ended up getting Bomb Scare out, so I got, or not Bomb Scare, but the card from that set that confuses you. So I wasn't able to really thwart very well. That round, I had to basically like do 1 thwart just to get rid of the confusion. But yeah, not Hawkeye, Quicksilver, a lot of fun. It takes like I said, like it takes a while to build into his ability, so you really want to get a lot of stuff on him that is going to increase his attack, increase his thwart, potentially increase his defense, and then cards that might not look so good on like just in any other deck, like Adrenaline Rush, like discard, pay 1 to discard it later to get +1 attack is okay, but it works really well with Quicksilver because that +1 extra attack becomes 2 attack, which if you attack twice with his ability becomes 4 damage. And that's on top of any kind of other things you use to do damage, such as double time, which does 2 damage or removes 2 threat. or things like maximum velocity. Maximum velocity with his ability to reset himself is insane because it's again, even with just his base card in this, it's 3 attack. You can turn it into 6. So the Quicksilver deck, it's kind of I don't know, like it. I found him to be a little bit squishy, so I wasn't able to stay in hero mode constantly. I had to flip to alter ego mode quite a bit. But the benefit to flipping to alter ego mode is his ability is kind of cool. His alter ego ability, which is you can discard 2 cards from your hand and draw 2 cards, or draw 3 if you have Scarlet Witch in play. So I use that a few times. And then his Serval Industries location card, which allows you to exhaust it to shuffle 2 Quicksilver cards back into your deck. So you can get those heavy hitters, or like there's probably a few times where I was able to use that to prevent myself from completely running out of cards and decking myself out to where I would get another encounter card. So I did, like I said, I did deck myself out once, but this location was able to prevent me from doing that probably more often because you're basically shuffling in 2 cards per turn as long as you're on your alter ego. So that is the Quicksilver deck. A lot of fun. Really looking forward to the Scarlet Witch deck. Should be coming out in May, hopefully. Or not May, March. Star-Lord is May. But Scarlet Witch hopefully coming out next month. It's going to be really interesting to see how Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch synergize together, especially with just how their abilities play together. I don't really know if they're going to be as synergetic as Ant-Man and the Wasp because they both have things when they transform into their large or tiny form, they do things. But I believe Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are going to be a pretty good matchup as well. I'm wondering if Rocket and Groot are going to have a card that's going to be similar to the cards that we get with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, where if you have both of them, you get some kind of bonus for using that card. But Quicksilver deck's a lot of fun. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time to get to basically have your engine be built. Essentially, it kind of felt a little bit like Iron Man, where Iron Man isn't that great early game, but the more stuff you get on him, the more tech you get on him, the better he is. Same thing with Quicksilver. The more cards that you can get to it, that increases his ability for his attack and thwart, the better it's going to be because you get that extra damage or extra thwart just because you can basically attack or thwart twice per turn with him. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching, and take care.